Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take us? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe as I dive in. Blood stains washing underneath the waves. I'll be reaching out to keep you safe as we fall. I can't hold on much longer. We're drifting down to the other side. Try to pull us under. Keep holding out for the other side. Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take? Where do I go? Tell me where do I take? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe as I go. As I go. Where do I go? Tell me where do I take? Tell me where do I go? Tell me where do I take? Your heart is starting to slow. May the water be safe as I go. As we fall, I can't hold on much longer. We're drifting down to the other side. Try to pull us under. Keep holding out for the other side. Welcome to the world, no heroes and villains. Welcome to the war, we've only begun. So pick up your weapon and face it. There's blood on the ground, go and take it. You get one shot to make it out alive. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your bones, go and take it. This is your moment, now is your time. So prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. Rise, rise. They will remember you. Welcome to the climb up. Reach for the summit. Visions brave, the one falls, steadily the end. So higher and higher you chase it. It's deep in your blood, go and take it. This is your moment. Take to the skies, go. Prove yourself and rise, rise. Make them remember you. Push through heaven. run, strap in for a long one. We got everybody on one. Now you coming at the king, so you better not miss. And we only get stronger with everything I carry up on my back. You should paint it up with a target. Why would you dare me to do it again? Come get your sport out, but we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you coming, my name you ought to know by now. We're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, maybe you wonder what your future's gonna be, but I got it all locked up. Take a lap now, don't be mad now. Run it back, run it back. I got bodies lining up, think you're dreaming of greatness. Send you back home, let you wake up. Why would you dare me to do it again? Come get your sport out, but we're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you coming, my name you ought to know by now. We're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, maybe you wonder what your future's gonna be, but I got it all locked up.
在以后，除了是傻子，还有其他吗？我左右，键盘琵琶在时间滴答着，还不够。你的固执让我来守候，哪怕太迟也不想以后。就在这时放肆的打斗。I got the heart of a lion, I know the harder you climb, the harder you fall. I'm at the top of the mountain, too many bodies to count. I've been through it all, I had to weather the storm to get to the level I'm on. That's how the legend was born. All of my enemies already dead and born. I'm ready for war. They know I'm ready for war. I told them
We're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, look at you coming, my name you ought to know by now. We're taking over. We're taking over. Hey, maybe you wonder what your future's gonna be, but I got it all locked up.
Drop a rock into the water, watch it ripple. Tides turn quick, just keep your head on a swivel. Competition getting stiff, I'm here to make you wiggle. You know me, surround your whole town, make you yell siege. All-star, homie, this the king's speech. You can lock it down, we gon' still preach. Boy, preach. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, get out of your mind. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, this world is mine. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Boy, you already know I'm the real wonder. Before I bring the storm, you gonna feel thunder. So your body count is up there with killmongers. How about you come take a look at some real numbers? Might just double up on you while I still slumber. I'm the living proof, I'm just coming through for the thrill of it. Room full of all-stars, we all guys. Somebody gotta be Zeus, I'll take charge. Fight. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, get out of your mind. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, this world is mine. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Positive, negative, I'll take charge and shake eyes, remain great while I pay homage. They always said that pressure can make diamonds, so keep climbing all the way up, that's where you'll find me. Right next to the legends, I go off my brethren. Said goodbye to the old me, I'ma make sure that you know me. After this here you gon' owe me. Didn't choose a game, it chose me. You know what G-O mean to an OG, let's go. Fight, who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, get out of your mind. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, this world is mine. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, get out of your mind. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Who's next in line? Can you make that climb? Now is the time, this world is mine. Raise up the lights, we all here tonight, so let's do it right. Yo, we came here to fight. Yeah. Get your back off the wall. Come on, yep, come one, yep, come on. Get up, yep, get your back off the wall. Come on, yep, come one, yep, come on.
The night beckons while you dream. A life never lives in peace. As you stand upon the edge, woven by a single thread, and fate may fall down upon you, while the devil is knocking right at your door. So while you restless, each night you hear the drums of war. Awaken, awaken, the voice begins to call you while you hunger. A taste of destiny you're searching for. Awaken.
Welcome back, one and all, to the VCS. We're getting ready to jump on into our second series of the day. 𝘀𝗀 taking on 𝘁𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀. I hope you enjoyed the extended break with the entertainment that was on screen, but you now get to have some quality information being delivered your way. 𝘀cie, Tim, this coming into today, this was always going to be the close series, or I think the series that we expected to be close. 𝘀𝗀, bad week one, but they've looked good after that. But Tim, 𝘁𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀 have looked very good as of late.
I mean, especially on Tuesday, they look great against 𝘀𝗀, and I think if they continue to have such a performance against BTS, they might stand a chance. I mean, you're the president of Luxury Fan Club. I came in here, my first series in the VCS in Analyst Desk was BTS just coming out of a horrible week, and Ryuk was just smurfing it all over the place in top lane. So I'm gonna be a believer in BTS all the way.
𝘀cie, are you a believer?
Yes, but not of BTS. I'm actually on the 𝘁𝗀 train here because I like the series against 𝘀𝗀. They took a game off them, and 𝘀𝗀 is in very hot shape. I mean, they just now 2-0 with Luxury. To be fair, it was on a different patch, but 𝘀𝗀 probably doesn't really care that much about patches. They just win, and they maybe, of course, they look a little bit better today, even when they are still ramping up as they are. But 𝘁𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀, I think, off the middle of the pack, but when we look at the standings, like there's a three-way tie, but I think 𝘁𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀 has underperformed partly due to their AD carry swapping shenanigans, and I think they are clearly the best team among this three-way tie we have.
And if we look back to, for both teams, their most recent results, 𝘁𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀 had the 2-1 loss to 𝘀𝗀 on Tuesday, whereas yesterday on Wednesday, it was the 2-0 loss for 𝘀𝗀 against Cerberus. So for both of them losing against the two teams that are now pretty much known to be the two best teams in the league based off current performance. You touched on the ADC role, Tim. I'd love to get your thoughts. Very simply, 𝘁𝗀𝗋𝗀 or Shogun?
I think Shogun has looked better, to be honest. But on AD carry, it's always hard to say because in the end, it's mostly down to team performance and just picking up where your team leads you. And if you have mid-lane teams, a very good AD carry can look very bad, or an AD carry that just stands back, does nothing, but doesn't die, can look very good when he should be looking, or when he is bad. So I haven't seen enough from both AD carries to definitively say, okay, this is the much better player.
And of course, when we talk about ADC, we have to talk about support. 𝘀𝗀, a phenomenal support, arguably the best support in the league. We saw that phenomenal Alistar play that he made, disengaging a whole engage from, I forget who it was on the top side of the map against an Ornn. But I actually want to look towards the other side, 𝘀𝗀, their bottom lane, 𝘀𝗀 and 𝘁𝗀, because these two, I think they did very well to match up against Artemis and 𝗀𝗏 from Cerberus in that 0-2 loss, because they went toe-to-toe with Artemis, I feel, 𝘀cie, and if they can do that again, they should be able to generate a lead over the 𝘁𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀 bottom lane.
Definitely, because I mean, it's Artemis and 𝗀𝗏 on the other side of the rift. It has been in that series, and it's probably the best bot lane of the VCS. Or maybe it's mostly just Artemis, but honestly, 𝗀𝗏 has also been smurfing so far. So Artemis actually also arguably in a position to be the best player of the VCS so far this winter split. So this was definitely something that they can take some credit for on the side of 𝘀𝗀 and his support on his side. So they might just be a little bit of a favorite here. Also, they play every series, and on 𝘁𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀 side, they kind of haven't really settled on one AD carry. I really hope they will settle on Shogun eventually, because he has just been more promising. He already started popping off in his first series with the Silver Chronicle. I remember that very well. And yeah, but if there might be a weak link on 𝘁𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀, maybe it will be the bottom lane being a little bit less on practice. And from the side of 𝘀𝗀, of course, their bot lane seems to be a strong point. So it will likely be a focus in the draft as well.
And when we are talking about the VCS, we always go back to the jungle role, because there are so many talented junglers here in the VCS. And at the start of this season, Tim, I feel like 𝗀𝗀 was not one of them. He had a very good spring split, but at the start of winter, he seemed shaky. His last series against 𝘀𝗀, it looked like he was one of the best members of 𝘁𝗰𝗵𝗋𝗀 going up against Levi. How do we see this 𝗀𝗀 Drakthar matchup going?
I think for Drakthar, matching up against 𝘀𝗀, I think base level 𝘀𝗀 should probably be the better jungler. I think 𝘀𝗀 though had some very good games, and I think for 𝘀𝗀 also it comes down to please don't pick something like 𝘀𝗀, man. Like, dude, like this guy has looked really good. I think I'm coming back to my first series again and again, right? But he was smurfing in those games, and he was smurfing against Penguin, who came out of a very strong week 1. And was expected to basically smash a jungle matchup, but instead he was smashed in a jungle matchup. So I think that gives us an idea what 𝘀𝗀 can actually do in these series. But I would say 𝘀𝗀, seeing how he now looked against 𝘀𝗀 and especially against 𝘁𝑖, should be the better jungler going into it.
Okay, so from the pair of you, I want to get your predictions for this series. And 𝘀cie, I'll jump to you first.
I mean, they are a part of the three-way tie, so it's likely, based on the current results, will be a close series. And I definitely, no matter in which direction it really goes, I would definitely think it will keep being this way. I think it will be a 2-1 either way. But my gut feeling just tells me that 𝘁𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 is slowly getting back on track and slowly getting the very clear issues that are coming from an obvious kind of direction with their AD carry swapping shenanigans they had going for them. So I think 𝘁𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 edges this out 2-1 in their favor.
Tim, are you also a man of the Buffalo?
No, I'm not a man of the Buffalo, but I have to agree with 𝘀cie here. I think it's going to be a 2-1. I think both teams are very close, and overall the tied stack is very close, and I would say it's 2-1 BTS.
Okay, I do like how we're all in agreement that it's going to be a 2-1, because I'm with 𝘀cie, and I think this is going to be a 2-1 going the way of 𝘁𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 as well. And something that I do want to mention, at the start of this split, I think a lot of people thought 𝘀𝗀 and 𝘁𝗀sky would be towards the bottom of the standings, as they were in Spring Split. They both performed much better than those expectations, especially 𝘁𝗀sky after week 1. And so far this week, it's not been good. It wasn't a good start for 𝘀𝗀. They won their first series. They lost against 𝘀𝗀. We just saw the 0-2 defeat. 𝘁𝗀sky also 0-2, but again, that was against Cerberus. So can they pick things up? And this is proving to be a rather critical day to seeing how the teams are shaping up heading into the second half of the split, the second round robin. And with that, we are heading on into picks and bans. Tim, both teams 3 wins, 4 losses. This essentially determines who will be sitting in 4th place come the end of the day.
Yep, and we're still waiting. Hopefully we're going to be in the draft in a second, and I'm not sure if we already know which AD carry is playing for the Buffalo. As we said earlier, we prefer having Shogun in, and it is going to be Shogun playing. And we already see some picks coming in and some bans. 𝘀𝑚ine has been picked up for 𝘂𝑚ine, and on the other side, it seems to be 𝘁𝗀 as an answer.
And I wonder if we're going to be seeing this in Nami pick up 𝘀𝗀, because we know how strong Lucian Nami is. Do Buffalo deny it?
I hope they do, because Lucian Nami is very good
no.
in that. Oh no.
God,
It's not even
no.
right? The enemy jungler, and yeah, it's the 𝘀𝗀 coming out. And
Please tell me
very
that is locked.
It is locked.
It is locked because there's already the 𝘁𝗶𝗶 coming
Okay.
out. So yeah, very weird meta read on the side of 𝘁𝗰𝗶𝗶𝗀, I would say. And yeah, I'm getting a little worried about my 2-1 prediction right now.
I mean, so the 𝘁 is probably going support if she's going to be picked up.
No, the 𝘁 was not locked. The 𝘀𝗀 was
she's not locked.
Miscommunication.
Yeah, but I was talking about the 𝘁. Like, 𝘁 support is something that has come into the meta a bit, and I haven't seen it in competitive play, but I have seen a decent amount in solo queue. Something very aggressive together with Lucian. It's going to be Leona instead. More traditional, but that opens up the 𝘁𝗀 Morgana if they want to go for it.
And I just want to bring something up very quickly, 𝘀𝗀cie. Do you know how many times 𝘀𝗀 has been played so far in the VCS this split?
Probably like 3 or 4 times. I mean, I haven't really looked up. I mean, 𝘁𝗀 is just trying to help me with the cam, but
I think 𝘁𝗀's trying to remember how many fingers she's got on her hand.
Maybe that's
do you have any
the
guesses?
I think 𝘀𝗀 has played it 3 times, and I think 5 times overall, if I remember right, and it hasn't been picked up since I last looked.
Okay, 𝘀𝗀 has played it 3 times. DNK played the only other game on 𝘀𝗀. All 4 games that 𝘀𝗀 lost.
Yeah,
so the
wasn't
stats
pretty.
aren't in favor of 𝘀𝗀. We've got the Graves coming in for 𝘀𝗀, and that's a jungler I much prefer to see. But again, 𝘀𝗀cie, this is not necessarily going to be a Graves jungle. It could go into the solo lanes.
It could be, and I think there's some issue with the draft in general because there's no timer and 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 hasn't completed their R3 pick. So there's something weird going on, despite the picks which are also some sort of weird, I would say. But maybe we just can follow through with the draft right now, and they already resetted it. Yeah, Graves could just go top lane or mid lane here. I mean, likely not mid lane anymore, let's be real.
Oh,
maybe
okay.
it's actually an option. And
Okay.
yeah, as Tim earlier addressed, 𝘁𝗰𝗶𝗀𝗀 comes out, and that's a very dominant lane you have to take care of. And 𝘁𝗀𝗀 is also a soft counter to 𝘁𝗀𝗀, at least I would say. So there's definitely some room to outplay there on the side of the bot lane for 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀.
Oh no. They picked another one of the loser champions. The Galio is locked in.
Tim, could I quickly throw in? Is it possible that this Lucian is going into the mid lane and Ziggs goes with 𝘁𝗀𝗀 bottom lane?
I would love it. Honestly, I would love it.
Same.
I think Galio versus Lucian is a terrible matchup for Galio. Like, there's nothing you can do, especially if even if you have a ganking jungler like the 𝘁𝗀𝗀, even if 𝘁𝗀𝗀 wants to camp, Lucian can just go for the cleanse, and there's nothing that Galio and 𝘁𝗀𝗀 can do about it. And the Ziggs matches up much better into the 𝘁𝗀𝗀, into the Caitlyn, and enables the 𝘁𝗀𝗀 to just move out of lane and roam around the map, to not be impacted too much by the Morgana. So I would love it if they would make that adaptation in the bot lane. And now we're looking for the last pick. It is going to be the top lane or a jungler, and it is going to be the top lane pick for first the Skye. They go for the Camille.
Also onto the Ziggs bot lane thing. If they happen to, you need to play into the 𝘁𝗰𝗶𝗀𝗀 lane. You never win this lane. You always lose it to some sort of grades, and Lucian loses a lot less gracefully than a Ziggs would. So I would like for the Ziggs to go bot lane, and the final pickup will be the Gwen. So there is at least one lane that is going well for the side of 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀. But overall, as we might have already come to a conclusion there, this is not really a convincing draft overall for the Buffalo. So if I had to pick one team that won this draft, it would definitely be first the Skye.
Tim, actually something I want to bring up, and this is like kind of talking about the 200 IQs, or maybe it's a 10 IQ play. Could there have been a possibility where 𝘁𝗀𝗏 ends up taking the Galio as a counter into the 𝘁𝗀𝗀, and then they just put the Morgana mid?
No, because Morgana also gets completely Giga Smashed by Lucian.
Okay.
I've seen that matchup being played. You don't want to be the Morgana, because again, the Lucian just takes cleanse and runs you down level 1, level 2, level 3, and every other level for the rest of the game.
Okay.
So that's really, like, I think that's even worse than Galio, but I mean, they could have done it, but I mean, Caitlyn Morgana should still have push. They should still be able to contest the lane. They should still be able to pick up platings, especially if 𝘁𝗀𝗀 and Galio end up deciding to go for bot lane ganks and to go for bot lane dives. But I think 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗃 said it best. I think the Ziggs just loses much more gracefully than the Lucian would.
Okay. Tim, anything else you'd like to add with the draft? Because we got 𝘀𝗰𝗃's thoughts, which is, I feel, fairly decisive in saying that Burst Skye have the better draft and will presumably take game 1 if they can execute on it properly.
I think BTS easy win.
BTS easy win. Okay. That's fairly decisive from the pair of you. So big draft gap we're seeing here, which would usually in VCS fashion mean that 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗶𝗹𝗀 might end up winning this one. Okay, talk to me about BTS win conditions. What do they have to do in the early stages of this game?
𝘀𝗰𝗃, do you? Okay.
You start.
I mean, for BTS, it's gonna be make sure that 𝘁𝗀𝗀 and Galio can't force early. Make sure that you neutralize the Caitlyn lane as good as possible. And if you get into the mid-game skirmishes unscathed, and your Ziggs gets to one item, your Lucian gets to one item, same for Camille, then you just perma-first engages with the 𝘁𝗀𝗀, with the Camille, and you should win any skirmish around objectives easily. And on the other side, for 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗶𝗹𝗀, they have to get their Caitlyn ahead, get her good into the game, and then be first on the objective to force the enemy to run into them.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. I mean, they mostly just need to stabilize the bot lane matchup there, because the Caitlyn Morgana lane is probably threatening to take turret plate after turret plate there, and maybe even the first turret. And you really need to get 𝘁𝗏𝗏 in check, because 𝘁𝗏𝗏, he shouldn't have power anyway, but if he somehow managed to do that, he should not be allowed to make bot lane dive plays, because this would be one way for 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗶𝗹𝗀 to break open the game and maybe take it despite having an overall much inferior draft, in my opinion. And on the other side, maybe even make some check on the top side, because 𝐻𝗏 has a counter matchup on the Gwen into the Camille, and Camille still is not that bad in the first levels of this. So maybe you could actually also managed to break the game open there on the side of BTS to get Ryuk rolling so he never falls behind against the Gwen.
Okay. Well, 𝘀cie, Tim, thank you very much for that. We're going to be bringing 𝘀𝗻𝗵 back on in to the caster desk as we head or get ready to jump on into the game. We do have a slight delay, and 𝘀𝗻𝗵, that gives us a bit of time to kind of talk about the draft a little bit further, talk about these two teams as a whole.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if I've just wound up hallucinating the past 8 months, because this feels very much like two spring compositions. We have, the Lucian mid, we have Ziggs hanging out in the bot lane, 𝘀𝘀cie versus Graves. It's just such a throwback sort of composition, and I'm a little bit shocked to see it. As to how the game should play out, I think the analysts knocked it on the head. BTS have to be worried about the Caitlyn Morgana bot lane, but with the flex of Lucian into mid lane and picking up the Ziggs, I think they've done a good job into saying we can hold this lane and not let it fall too far behind. Ziggs will scale up very nicely on his own. We'll be able to shove waves indefinitely, and then you sort of look more towards the mid lane and the top lane to be the actual make and break points for the side of BTS. Hopefully, you're hoping 𝘀𝗀𝗧 can bully this 𝘁𝗀𝗀 to death, because it should just be an insanely one-sided matchup. If you can get the Gwen rolling, or the Gwen or the Camille rolling in either direction, that matchup should be pivotal, and as that one carries on and has side lane pressure for the rest of the map. So yeah, very impressed out of BTS with the draft gymnastics.
Yeah, and it's weird because I remember yesterday, I think I was speaking with Rebel about how Saigon Buffalo are usually the best in the VCS when it comes to drafting. Usually they're the ones who make the fewest slip-ups. So it's quite odd for them to be finding themselves in a situation where they have a slightly inferior draft. Something I do want to touch on, 𝘀𝗻𝗵. I gave some fun stats over to 𝘀cie and Tim, so it'd be unfair if I didn't give one over to you. How many times do you think Morgana has been played so far in the VCS for Winter Split?
Well, the split none. I'm fairly sure. Yeah. Because I was looking at this, and then when you saw the Caitlyn lock-in against the Lucian and no response of like taking the Nami away, I mean, they would just take the Lux into that matchup. They've done it before and they dominated it. It was fantastic out of them. It was actually their match against 𝘁𝗀𝗵 that they did that. So that sort of thing is, they're actually very comfortable with that sort of matchup. So that was the bait they were saying. They're like, go for it. Now, I don't think 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗀 was the takeaway you really wanted, but
might have been a misclick.
But I mean, with BJ's current performance, putting him on the most comfort possible, I think, is a strategy you can take, and I think that's what they're going for. It's pretty much comfort across the board. The only slightly weird ones would be the bot lane, but hey, Shogun's new. We don't actually know what his comfort is yet, and 𝘁𝗀𝗀's been good, so 𝘁𝗀𝗀 can play whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah, 𝘁𝗀𝗀's been very good, and he's been playing quite a few different champions to varying degrees of success. We do have a bit of an extended pause, so apologies for that. We shall hopefully be getting into game shortly, as we have, to be honest, no idea what the issue is. So sit tight, hold back, and enjoy the ride right now, 𝘀𝗻𝗵. Okay, I want to talk about the top lane, because it's the only lane that I didn't get to talk about with Tim and 𝘀cie. And I think it's quite important because it's Ryuk against 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏. And 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏 in spring was one of the best top laners round. Ryuk at the start of the split. Ryuk from week 2 onwards.
Yeah, Ryuk. I mean, week 2 onward, I feel he's been a little bit hit or miss. When he hits really hard, but when he misses, he kind of he's useless. Or actually a hindrance, or an active hindrance. He's very flippy on that regard, but not in like the explosive way like you'd think of a 𝘁𝗀𝗃 or a DNK type thing. It just kind of is really good or is really bad, and it doesn't sort of show up until later on in the game. And I think this is going to be a sort of idea for BTS needing to go to that top side, because in that sort of matchup, I would predict 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏 to win passively, and with that, have that control. And again, as I said earlier, whoever gets the control early and gets that early lead should be able to control that side lane and have that pressure for the rest of the game. maybe loses out in the super late game where one of them actually has a super great advantage over the other. I personally don't know that matchup so in depth that I could say who is the winner, but beyond that, yeah, I think BTS definitely wants to hit top side. Buffalo want to try and hit bottom side and make the most of this Caitlyn. So look to see the mid lane be the big difference, to see where the actual pressure gets to go and overload the map and create that advantage.
Now, kind of the final thing that we really have to talk about is, again, how the teams sit in the standings, because they both have 3 wins and 4 losses. As do SBTC in what is a 3-way battle for 4th place.
Yes.
Judging, do you think this is a fair 3-way battle for 4th, or do you think there are other teams that should be in this group, or some of the teams in this group that shouldn't be there, either below or above it?
No, I think these 3 are very much that middle pack. 𝘀𝑺 has raised some questions recently, but I still think it's unreasonable to take them out of the top 3 just yet. But this matchup becomes crucial because, especially for 𝘀𝑺_𝘀, they really want to win this because Buffalo beat 𝘀𝑺_𝘀. So if they get the 2-0 head-to-head, that means that 𝘀𝑺_𝘀 really needs to get the 2-0 head-to-head against SBTC, then hope SBTC gets the 2-0 against Buffalo, so you're back into that 3-way tie sort of turnstile. But yeah, if 𝘀𝑺_𝘀 can grab this win, that'll be fantastic for them.
Now, this pause is still ongoing, and we aren't sure for how much longer. So due to that, we are going to be throwing into a quick 𝘀𝑺_𝘀 screen. For those of you unfamiliar, it's a pause screen. And we'll be back once these technical difficulties over on the side of VCS are dealt with, and then we'll be jumping on into game. So do stay tuned. We are back. The pause is over. We are on to the Rift. 𝘁𝗶𝗶𝗹𝘀, both junglers starting on their blue buffs,
What?
I think.
Yep. Someone's dead, apparently.
Oh, yeah. 𝘁𝗶𝗶𝗹𝘀 got a kill. Obvious.
Someone
We're
died,
never allowed to see the scoreboard, so God only knows.
Yes.
And how we've been dragged in 3 minutes late, I don't know. That wasn't on our side. We just got thrown in. Where's the kill? Oh, it was Shogun.
So, yeah, it seems like it was just a 2v2 kill on the bot side. I feel it's a very simple setup. They lost the level 2, binding into trap into a hell of a lot of damage coming out from this, what's her face, 𝘁𝗏? So she's more than happy. This bot lane off to a fantastic start from Buffalo, taking a plate at 5 minutes, off to the races, and it looks like 𝘀𝗀𝗆 kicking off with the 5-minute dragon as well. So Buffalo off to an absolutely fantastic start with this early game composition, and all this bot side pressure doing wonders.
Maybe finally a win for 𝘀𝗀𝗆 in the VCS winter split. The first rake picked up by Saigon Buffalo. And as you mentioned, 𝘁𝗶𝗶𝗹𝘀, a 500 gold advantage already, having picked up a plate in the bottom lane. And this was the one thing in the draft that Tim and 𝘀𝗀cie were talking about. This is the one thing that Saigon Buffalo can really play around. 𝘁𝗏 Morgana. Everywhere else, they are losing in the matchups.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit pushed in the top side. That's to be expected. Getting hammered in the mid lane, also to be expected. And actually, maybe not as so much expected in the top side, but hey, very good play out of Ryuk. We're happy to see it. And now we just have to see, what does 𝘀𝗀𝗆 do? He's a little bit behind. He's trying to figure out what to do. Hasn't had the impact as there's a bit of trading, but I would be shocked if there was enough kill pressure from the side of Sky with just a tier on 𝘀𝗀𝗆𝗀𝗀𝗆.
And we can exactly see why the Morgana's a counter. Another Zenith Blade comes in, and this is exactly what you have to do. You need to go in before the Black Shield is up, but 𝘁𝗀𝗆 just gets run down, and 𝘁𝗀𝗆, what's he gonna do? He's got a tier. That's not doing nothing for him.
He's got a tier, but look at... Good flash from 𝘁𝗀𝗆𝗀𝗆, but 𝘁𝗀𝗆 has just found the bindings. He's missed a few, of course, but look at... you saw it earlier. He went so far forward. 𝘁𝗀𝗆𝗀 is trying his best, but doesn't have the damage, and he's locked up forever. It doesn't matter that Leona is obscenely tanky naturally. If you're stuck in place for 5 minutes, having two very strong early game champions wail on you, you're just gone.
Yeah, and it's a pickaxe on the 𝘁𝗏, hitting like an absolute truck. 2-0.
We missed a whole lot of 𝘀𝗀𝗆 trying to solo dive the 𝘁𝗏.
Okay.
As you see, forced to
He used
flash.
Very good.
But flash also used from 𝘀𝗀𝗆, and the ultimate did not.
Hey!
And we're just missing action again.
Who wants to see action? We just want to see 𝘁𝗀𝗆 killing 𝘀𝗀𝗆 on the return. Okay, 𝘁𝗀𝗆 flashed, so good old flash bear slap coming in somewhere, using the Predator. But as we mentioned, we're expecting 𝘀𝗀𝗆 to hard win this mid lane, and he's got a 23 CS advantage over 𝘀𝗀𝗆. So the mid lane matchup going as we expected, as is the bottom lane matchup, to be fair.
Yeah, and he's absolutely picked up the solo kill. He picked up the solo kill on top of that. Unfortunately, you're still looking at it being traded back onto by 𝘁𝗀𝗆, and you're definitely saying SGB have a massive advantage. As for what they're doing now, I'm not necessarily a huge fan. I think trying to keep your 𝘁𝗏 posted up is the best option, but here we go. Teleport in, and there should be no contest from 𝘀𝗀𝗆. Just for
oh no, there's smoke coming in. It's going to be a 2-man taunt. The focus comes through onto Ryuk, who's forced to go in with the Hextech ultimatum. 𝘁𝗀𝗆 taking a fair amount of damage, but locked down is 𝘀𝗀𝗆 by a great dark binding. The ace in the hole picks up a double kill for Shogun. Justice punch in from 𝘀𝗀𝗆, and this is just going the way of Saigon Buffalo again. 𝘁𝗏𝗆, what is this performance? 4-0 for Shogun on the 𝘁𝗏. GG, go next.
So Buffalo looking back on forms in some way. All they had to do was pretend it was spring with the composition. Because holy hell, they absolutely smurfed that team fight. And to be fair, it was one they never should have gotten. Sky, you should have ran the hell away, but they didn't. 𝘀𝗀𝗆's able to get him with the Predator, able to lock down Ryuk, and then 𝘁𝗀𝗆𝗀, 𝘀𝗀𝗆, they all just kind of funnel in late, and the fight's lost. And so they have to blow a few summoners to get out of there. Actually, I don't think they had them, but never mind. Point is, huge win for SGB. They're 6-1 on the scoreboard, 2k ahead, Rift Herald in the back pocket, and that is... Let's have a good look at where they are on the mini-map. Yeah, it's going straight to Shogun. And let's say, yeah, look, why are you still there? You never had any chance to get that Herald. Ryuk's locked up. 𝘀𝗀𝗺 caught with a beautiful bind.
What's
𝘀𝗀𝗺? Absolutely insane. And then just able to block off with the...
You already had the stopwatch up!
Stopwatch, yeah. Has the... Oh my god, it's insane. It's insane, this man. He smurfed it so hard.
I think the assist he got for the first kill of that fight got the stopwatch available that early, because it should be 12 minutes, and I think he had got 3 kills, and each kill's half a minute or something. I don't know. Either
I know
way...
that's for free-ass boots. I don't know if that applies to stopwatch.
Oh,
I mean, I could be wrong.
I don't know.
But it definitely applies to free-ass boots.
I think we should order 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 to go check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's another plate for Shogun. He's just already on his Gale Force, so very far ahead. 𝘀𝗀𝗺's lurking, but what's he gonna do? What can he do? As we see, Froggy get bullied out again by 𝘀cie𝗰𝗋.
This is not healthy. I really want the observers to show the gold. They won't, but I really want them to, just to see how far ahead Shogun is. He must be at least like 1.5k.
Yeah, at least that 300 from each kill. You've got first blood bonus on top of that, the assist. So a couple of plates as well. I'd say really comfortable and about pushing 2k as an individual gold lead.
I mean, the one good thing for BTS is if you look on over to 𝘀cie, he's doing all right. He's got a Gale Force as well.
Yeah, he's doing very well for himself. He's farmed up extremely well.
Oh, God.
He's bullied the Galio out of lane multiple times, but it's not enough. It doesn't matter. Even before that Rift Herald fight completely blew the game open for Buffalo. Sure, 𝘀cie was ahead, but the problem was that's one member compared to the two of the bot lane of Buffalo, just absolutely smurfing it. They get the tower, easy done. Took them 12 minutes, which is longer than I was almost expecting to get that first break, and now they can easily rotate to the top lane and knock that one down before parking themselves in the mid lane for the next however long it takes. So probably 4 minutes for the next fight around Dragon.
Okay, so I don't even know what I want to bring up, but do you remember when Artemis first played Caitlyn, this split, and he got like 9 plates?
Yep.
Do you think Shogun can get 10?
No, because he only has a minute left. It did take him a while to get that first tower down because of that early Rift Herald play, rotating up, and Skye throwing everything at the wall, but 𝘀𝗀𝗺 sniffs it out.
They know that they're there as well. They saw them coming in from a ward. The engage comes through onto Shogun, but he's just dodging absolutely everything with the 90 caliber net, and the Gale forces a double kill for 𝘀𝗀𝗺. Oh, and, boys.
He's the real Gary.
𝘀𝗀𝗺 has been incredible. I do love how we did like a mini jinx during the drafting phase, and we said, oh, okay. I was wondering whether 𝘀𝗀𝗋 would be brave enough to tank that, but he is. So I remember in Picks and Bans, I was talking about, hey, 𝘀𝗀𝗋 and 𝘀𝗀𝗋, they played like really well against Artemis and Ron OP, and maybe they can do that again against Shogun and 𝘀𝗀𝗺. Well, not in game 1.
Yeah, no, 𝘀𝗀𝗋 in particular has been very over-aggressive, not respecting the amount of CC and lockdown just the duo has, giving over two free solo kills in lane, which is absolutely pretty much unforgivable. And 𝘀𝗀𝗺, he's been fantastic on the punish in the team fights as well, of course. And yeah, now you're just looking at the gold lead as overlay disappears, and we're back to standard scoreboards. Hello. It's still actually only a 4k gold lead, so they haven't managed to extend it any further of those 2 kills, and I guess that's probably coming out of the mid lane where 𝘀𝗀𝗺's been able to keep that farm going, punish, just hard shove that mid lane and pick up some turrets plates for himself. because he wasn't able to join the fight. 𝘀렇gy absolutely was, and was able to keep 𝗀𝗀 and 𝘀𝗀 firmly at bay while the 𝘀𝗀 and 𝘀𝗀 died to the side of 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀.
I know sometimes we meme about for Team Flash 𝘂cino being in like elo hell for the team. Right now, 𝘀瑠is in that spot. He's just thinking, okay, I was supposed to win lane. I've done that. I got a kill. Let me look over to bot lane. Oh, there's a 4-0 Caitlyn. There's a 3-0 Morgana. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. And what are you meant to do? Like, the idea behind the lane pressure is you keep the Galio on the tower, you force him to try and stick around for that farm experience. But 𝘀rocgy's just kind of said, no, I'm not going to be winning farm anyway. I'm just going to go into the top side, get 4 assists, and another pick onto 𝘀𝗻. Good response.
Okay, they're focusing onto 𝘀rocgy. If they can get at least 1 kill, that would be decent. 𝘀rocgy taking a fair amount of damage, and 𝘀lury's going to be able to find the kill. The culling comes through, shredding through. 𝘁archy's forced to run for the hills, and BTS will be able to get 1 kill. That is all, and maybe there is hope yet for BTS.
Yeah, good response from 𝘀𝗻, catching and forcing SGB away so they couldn't actually convert on the binding. 𝘀rocgy caught on the wrong side. I think they're just going to have to give up this Rift Herald. It makes sense. Try and get that hard shove, do as much damage to the mid lane tower as you can in the meantime, which probably won't be a lot because, hey, you're playing up against 𝘂s, and 𝘂s gets to do 𝘂s things, like punish Shogun to half health and clear a wave. It's fantastic. And now they have the ability to convert onto the mid lane tower. 𝘀lury's gotten it to half health. It should only take a Rift Herald and a satchel charge at most. It's not even the satchel. Just a big turnaround. Good play coming out from the side of Sky.
And now BTS gaining the mid lane outer tower, and the side of 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 have been unable to secure an outer tower. So this opens up the map a little bit for BTS. Maybe it gives them some opportunities to make some plays. And now that 𝘂s pretty much has a fully stacked tier, has the first item completed as well, can be sitting in the side lanes and just farming by themselves. So we get a teleport in from 𝘂rioq, who's looking for a potential flank, as the Chemtech Drake is secured by the side of BTS.
You're way too far ahead!
𝘂rioq just going in, and 𝗀𝗀 getting run down. 𝘀rocgy's going to follow up with the hero's entrance. They're going to be able to find a 2-man tomb, but what can 𝘀lury do? He doesn't have the culling back available yet. 𝘀rocgy will fall, 𝘂rioq picking up the kill. And it is a 1-for-1, and these are 1-for-1s that 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 cannot be taking when they are nearly 4,000 gold ahead.
What the hell was 𝗀𝗀 doing? He sprinted in, his team had no means to follow up, he just ran into 5 members. It was only 𝘀𝗀 being caught on the other side of the pit that made it even a fathomably reasonable play. I mean, they still lost 𝘀rocgy because he dies for his jungler's sins, ulting in. It's just, just terrible decision making. You lost the you lost the mid lane, you lost the Rift Herald, and then you lost positioning on the dragon. So they wanted something back, but they just gave up more. Giving more gold to 𝘀lury, more to 𝘀𝗀.
It's fine. 𝘀rocgy has this calculated. He's making sure that he's the only member on the team who picks up deaths, so he dies to save everyone else's shutdowns.
Yeah, I just look how far ahead he is, and then you've got Galio coming in to save his life, and then you've committed too hard. And again, look, I mean, 𝘀𝗀 played that very well, landing all the CC on 𝘀rocgy. You probably should have bailed, my friend. Get out on the back of the pit, use your flash. But in the end, you still got the 1-for-1. That whole passage of play was still fantastic for you, and yet somehow you're still 4,000 gold down.
But meanwhile, Shogun's completed their second item.
It's true.
𝘀lury
done very well.
𝘀lury building towards the Essence Reaver, but pretty much an entire item behind Shogun right now. Also, can we give some kudos to Hasmed? 200 CS at 18.5 minutes. Well, okay, 200 CS at 19 minutes, but he's about to collect a wave, so that's going to increase. It's very impressive farming from Hasmed so far.
Very impressive, and I have to commend him compared to 𝘂rioq, because 𝘂rioq's been trying so hard to be part of everything, trying to make sure Sky are able to get their plays down, trying to get things to happen. And meanwhile, Hasmed's been able to free farm, push happily.
Okay, Glory's
no,
got cleansing.
actually
He can try to
turning
turn this
around.
around. BJ taking so much damage. Culling. Froggy's going to have to tank up pretty much most of the shots. 𝘀𝘀e cannot engage because 𝘁𝗀que and Shogun are both here. As BJ pops the Predator. Why? I don't really know.
BJ pops it just to sort of scare them off, just to sort of indicate that they're going to try and push towards the tower. And I mean, you've got Caitlyn on it, just drop a black shield on it. They can't respond. And it's a free pickup. Easy money in the back pocket for Buffalo. And they are very...
Oh!
Whoa! Shogun stamping down, saying he's the carry of this game. It's all on his back. Absolutely popping off, getting glory. And that's bad news for the side of 𝘀𝗀e, because he's been the big star so far for your team, not just in this game especially, but across the entirety of last week. He was fantastic.
Yeah, across the entirety of the split, really, for BTS. Glory has been playing well, and you can't even really blame Glory. Just look how much damage he takes.
Yeah, just not able to sneak out of the way. And I'm fairly sure Shogun could have followed it up with the ultimate anyway, so...
No, the ultimate
would have been real hard. Okay. But Ryuk's dead again.
That.
Did get dropped on by gank by BJ and Froggy. Found their way down to the boss side, pick him up. That's another kill in the back pocket. Froggy falling 60 CS down. He's just not farming. He has decided, I do not need to farm. I merely need to be trying to get 𝘁𝗃 ahead. And
He does that every game, though, let's be fair.
Yeah,
They're not farming bet.
Yeah, look, at least he's trying to put it to good use now. Yeah, it's okay. It's actually 𝘁𝗃 and BJ ganking for Froggy, but Ryuk, he's very far up. There's very little he can do, especially with that ultimate just clipping him on the side, on the end there. Can't get away. Devastating.
Well, Saigon Buffalo back in control. They had one very sketchy fight, which allowed BTS to come out on... Well, they didn't come out on top. It was a 1-for-1, but BTS picked up a Drake as well. But whenever Shogun's there, just BTS can't do anything. Shogun is hitting like a truck. He's 3 items. 3 items, Marby! We're 21 minutes into the game.
He's so fed. He's had full pressure on the top side, picked up a couple of towers, had the full towers on the bots, full plate on the bot side, picked up, I mean, he's 6-0, right? 6-0-3. So that's gonna sum up a little bit. Shogun feels like he's playing against bots right now with that sort of scoreline. And 𝘁𝗃, BJ starting up this Drake.
Okay, that's an engage coming through. Shogun's over the wall, so that just means Shogun's safe, and Shogun can keep on firing the autos. Ryuk taken down low as Glory drops down the culling. Froggy, 𝘁𝗀que taken super low. 𝘁𝗃 over the wall. Hookshot will take Ryuk out to safety momentarily as BTS, again, they're able to get Drake control. Can BJ try to contest it? Well, here comes a Shogun. 𝘀𝘀e just going to tank this up as much as he can, but he will eventually get taken down. The Drake has been secured by BTS. Everyone from BTS over the wall. Drakthar this time flashing. Saigon Buffalo will get 2 kills. Ryuk also died. 𝘁𝗃 picking up that kill. But BTS again, they get a Drake. They are extending this game.
Yeah, and you're actually seeing, this is the back end, but I want to point to that minefield that kept 𝘁𝗀que completely out of the fight. That was basically what earned them that drag, and 𝘀𝗀e has been able to, after the initial play of 𝘀𝗀e pushing... Oh, not quite. Should have gone Collector.
True.
Yeah, after pushing him out of that Dragon Pit, pushing BJ and 𝘁𝗃 away, they were able to then zone them out that Shogun had to blast cone over. 𝘁𝗀que's completely removed. And yes, they get a kill back, but it's still another dragon. It's 𝘀𝗀e slowly stacking up these Chemtech Drakes. And with that, they are able to, they're able to keep themselves happy. BJ becomes squishier and squishier up by proxy of the soul damage, the Drake damage. And if they can keep securing the Drakes, there you have the win condition for 𝘀𝗀e. If they get the soul, they can actually start taking fights again.
Fairness to 𝘀𝗀e, he hasn't died yet. He's building towards a void staff, and I just want to point out, versus 𝘀𝗀e, yes, they're 8,000 gold down, but for some reason recently, I'm starting to feel that they aren't out of this game. I feel that they should be out of this game, but I feel like Saigon Buffalo have been a little bit sketchy with some of their plays, and they have been leaving themselves open to being exploited, essentially.
Yeah, and you're sort of seeing it in the fact that their only real engage is send 𝘁𝗀𝗀 charging at you, and hopefully 𝘀𝗀gy can follow up. But 𝘁𝗀𝗀 doesn't have exactly the best lockdown to ensure 𝘀𝗀gy can follow up on it. So you've seen them when they're at their best. It's when 𝘁𝗀gy's already in position and they're sort of collapsing onto 𝘁𝗀gy, and he's able to land these bindings and keep 𝘁𝗏 at bay. But here we see them turning onto Baron, trying to make that exact thing happen. Here comes 𝘁𝗀. Here comes 𝘁𝗏.
𝘁𝗀's already down to 2/3 HP from 1 auto. The Baron has been secured. Everfrost will lock 𝘁𝗀 down. Justice puncher forward. 𝘀𝗏 trying to kite back, as is 𝘁𝗀. When comes the engage? There it is. They're trying to get onto Shogun, but he's got a black shield. Goes golden as well. The culling will rip it through 𝘀𝗀gy, but is it by enough? Hazmed just trying to find the rundown onto 𝘀𝗏, trying to get the kill. That's a kill onto 𝘁𝗀gy from Glory, but he is locked down by the Dark Binding and taken down. 𝘀𝗀, the only member left standing. It is a 4-4-1. 𝘁𝗀 coming out on top, and again, it's not necessary from BTS to fight this. Just give over the Baron. You're not gonna win the fight.
No, they took way too much damage on the initial play, and here we see, like, yeah, 𝘁𝗀, he got caught. They actually, you're completely too late. 𝘁𝗀's a bit caught. I think you can kind of sacrifice here, but they choose to go so hard for Shogun, and this could have worked if it wasn't for that pesky stopwatch that has ruined League for multiple seasons now. And it's been great. It's a very good attempt. Like, they do everything basically correctly, as Glory died somewhere in the replay. But yeah, Shogun kites it out very well. Great stopwatch usage from the side of Buffalo, and they keep him alive. And now he has a Guardian Angel on top of everything. So it's gonna be, yeah, you have to kill Shogun twice.
Well, yeah, Guardian Angel. I mean, it's smart from Shogun, isn't it? He's not going for extra damage. He's just saying, look, I know you guys want to kill me, so how about you don't kill me?
Yeah. And I mean, look, what's the gold lead? 10,000 to the side of SGB. How much of that is on Shogun specifically? 3 items worth. So that's probably a lot of it. That's probably a hell of a lot of that gold lead is on Shogun. So if he's not in the fight, hey, maybe it's actually pretty close to even. But oh no,
𝘁𝗀's just gonna run him down. That is gonna be game. You have to think a Dark Binding is gonna land. 𝘁𝗀 will get taken down. The first inhibit, well, actually the second inhibitor tower of the game will be secured. Hextech ultimatum comes through from Ryuk just to buy time for 𝘀𝗏 to be able to get back to the base. Glory trying to find some damage. The culling is dropped, able to sidestep the Dark Binding, but unable to find any kills. 𝘁𝗀 on to the 2 Nexus towers. Now there's a teleport coming in. 𝘁𝗀 want to end this as a 5. There's more teleports coming through now as 𝘀𝗀gy bases and returns. And that, ladies and gents, will be game. Burst the Sky getting absolutely bursted by 𝘁𝗀, who take a game 1 in completely dominant fashion.
So yeah, we looked at the draft and we said, how does Buffalo win it? If they can get the bot lane rolling, they absolutely can, and they got that bot lane rolling, and that bot lane did not stop rolling until the very end. That was absolutely insane stuff out of them. Buffalo came up huge, and all they had to do was ignore the meta and pretend it was spring again.
I mean, what they wanted to do worked, right? Play around bot lane, get Caitlyn ahead. Yeah, it worked. And
yeah,
BTS just seemed to have no answer.
It was crazy. Look, yeah, they tried to play through mid. Glory, of course, performed quite well, and they had that great passage of play where they responded well to the attempt from Buffalo to pick off, get a pick onto 𝘀𝗀gy, get the mid rift held, convert into mid lane, immediately convert that into a dragon. Really great stuff out of them in moments, but just generally getting caught, overcommitting on certain things. 𝘁𝗀 in particular had a shocker, but beyond that, look, just props to Buffalo. They look clean.
Yeah. With that, we're going to be jumping on into a short break, and when we return, we'll be getting Tim and 𝘀𝗀's thoughts on the game, and, well, I guess we'll probably be asking them how BTS can get back into this one. But at the moment, 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗹𝗀 looking far and away the better team. Stay tuned here at VCS English. We'll be back momentarily.
no time for redemption. Those flags you wave, will they hold up? Don't cry for your vengeance. It's right there to take, or if you want it, the world is watching. Here's your judgment, here's your reckoning. Write your story down, enter history. Pride and country, you could have everything. So bring home the glory alive. Go and rise for your nation. There's so much at stake. Will you show up? Oh, it's about damn time for a little salvation. watch you wave or represent them. The world is watching. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. Write your story down into history. Pride and country. You could have everything. So bring home the glory alive. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. So go and bring home the glory alive. Here's your judgment. Here's your reckoning. Write your story down into history. Pride and country. You could have everything. So bring home the glory alive.
Teimir himmelur 𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 og skannar en pilt val hér. Ein minne var meilt her, ég þér. From 𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 Kallir, 𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 och med klorna till. Man börjar beoft böjsparkalor när 𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗀 wir stark.
Apparently, I'm supposed to be talking about the game that happened or something. 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 destroyed 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗃. 𝘀𝗃𝗃, Tim, you lovely gents want to add anything to that?
For sure. I mean, we just have had the same draft canyon we had in the first series, but this time, the Buffalo, as strong as he is, just climbed up all the way of the draft canyon and managed to surpass the draft canyon and somehow managed to win this game because 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗃 really didn't feel like winning, right?
No, they
Yeah.
did not.
Sorry, Tim, go on.
Yeah, I think the analogy with the canyon is very nice. I think they climbed out and kicked BTS down the canyon, the fall, then killed them immediately. I mean, mid lane was a bit of a disaster, and I think 𝘀cie will never ever pick Galio into Lucian 1 again. I think he got completely destroyed in mid lane. But other than that, I think the game was an absolute disaster for BTS. And I mean, Udyr has his first win, so he's now 1-4, and finally teams can now say, okay, Udyr is a winning champion, right?
Yeah. Look, Udyr got its first win of the split. This makes me very sad, as I got really scared for a second because we can see 𝘀𝗶𝗶𝗹𝘀 camera and she's got her lovely cat with her, and I saw the tail and I thought it was like a rattlesnake. I was like, what's going on there? We'll get a camera shot of that later, I'm sure. But okay, let's bring this a bit more serious, because 𝘀cie, we said this was going to be a close series. We were all in agreement. This is going to be a 2-1, one way or another. Do you think 𝘀𝘀_𝗀𝗏 can come back and actually win a game?
No, I mean, I doubt that they will. I think there is some way that it might happen, because if they get a draft like this again and maybe they like fix their early game a little bit, it will be possible. Because I mean, if 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 has that read on the meta, it is certainly not out of the window that they are mechanically up to the task as well to just not in as much in the early game and then just get a game against them for sure. Maybe even win the series. But as of now, it didn't look like they had a good read either way. I mean, the draft was much better, but their gameplay just wasn't up to the task in game 1.
I just realized you're the wrong person to ask. You weren't a believer in 𝘀𝘀_𝗀𝗏. You were with me thinking 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗀 were going to take this. I need to take this to Tim. Tim, you were a believer in 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗏. How can 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗏𝗀𝗏 come back? Do you think that game was just a, hey, we got it wrong? Or was that a 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗀 are just better than us?
I think 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗀, they have to int draft. They have to absolutely grief it down in draft. Because something I didn't see before the game started is Gwen, before this game, was 0-8 as well. So the top side from 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, like as champions, was 3-21 coming into this game. So I think you just have to pick the worst champions in the game and you win.
So does that
Gwen is played a lot by Yoshino, and Flash just loses all the time, despite Yoshino playing the Gwen well and Gwen being not terrible.
Oh my god, 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 are actually scared of 𝘀𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Galio. No! Tim, they're using your strat, they're banning away the bad champions. This is 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. See, this is why we've got Tim on the analyst, I suppose.
That's just unfair. I mean, you have to take them yourself, and Caitlyn is going to be the first pick, as it seems. It looked pretty strong on Shogun last game, so I really like it.
Okay, well, it's Caitlyn for 𝘀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 again. And to be honest, 𝘀cie, after what Shogun was able to pull out on Caitlyn in game 1, I'm not surprised.
I'm not either. They technically give over Lucian Nami now, which might be one way that maybe 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 finds an opening here, and Lucian is immediately their first pickup again. I mean, also, despite Lucian Nami, maybe it's also not that strong anymore. I think it's still pretty strong. It's not as broken as it used to be. You can still put the Lucian for 𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗏 again. I mean, there's no Galio on the enemy team, so it may not be as easy as in the first game, but it's still a solid pickup for 𝘀𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 either way. He played fine, I would say, for most part of the last game, despite the loss, and that's why the Lucian is a solid pickup for them. I also do not dislike the Lee Sin at all. It's definitely a jungler that has some playmaking ability, and also looks good on Draktar. I mean, at least it's not Udyr, so there's like one thing that's also a positive on the side of 𝘀𝘀𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. It's this pick alone.
Okay, well, we know 𝘀𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 did well on the Lucian. This Lucian, though, might be going back in towards the bot lane. We'll see whether the potential Nami is paired with it. I'm glad Draktar is on this Lee Sin. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no. Okay, so, I mean, just... Go on, Tim, go on, Tim.
Yeah, I think, actually, I do not hate the Lux pickup at all.
I think it's really strong.
Yeah, I think Lux overall, probably on support right now, she's probably going to be more of a supportive item build. You don't really build full AP on support in competitive play. It's VCS, but I'm not expecting that much of a grief. In solo queue we often see it, but here it functions like the Morgana in that you have, of course, the snare to set up the traps for the Caitlyn, but it works much better into champions like Nami, because Morgana usually struggles very heavily against Nami because all you have is your Q, basically, if you can't land that. you're not gonna be any use to your Caitlyn in lane. But Lux, of course, has her E, has the shield as well, so it's much better there to help out the Caitlyn and have a strong laning phase. And the Nami seems to be coming in, so that was to be expected. And I think the answer that 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 have found with the Lux is a really nice one.
And 𝘀cie, we've seen 𝘁𝗀ce play Lux twice before, and I believe both of the times were with a Caitlyn. At the very least, one of the times it was with a Caitlyn was against the 𝘀 bottom lane, and they absolutely destroyed them completely. This is a duo that 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 have used before and have found great success with.
For sure, and they played against the Lucian Nami, which is one lane where I think it's okay to give off a Lucian Nami because you have one clear answer to it, which is the range. You just outrange them all the time, and this makes the all-in much harder for the Lucian Nami side because they don't have really the initial CC tool to really get going with the all-in, because Nami tends to not just use the Aqua Prism right away to just land the bubble and be happy with it, because usually that's very easy to sidestep for these players on this level. So usually the Lucian Nami just goes with a trade pattern of just using the W and the E of the Nami to just have some easy trade damage added on top of Lucian. But like this, you don't really get to be in the range of those anyway in the first place, so it's really hard to really force anything there. And the draft continues with the following: 𝘁𝗀 for 𝘀cie, and TF is a counter pick there. So both mid laners like probably to roam and influence the map other ways, and also the rest of 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀's draft shows this with the Olaf and Jace pickup, which is very volatile because it really falls off a cliff late game. But the way they played game 1, there won't be a late game anyway, so their draft, while it has its weaknesses, has its clear identity as well.
And Tim, to go back to what you said about picking bad champions, technically 𝘁𝗀 is one of those, yet to win a game in the VCS. But with that being said, I really like the fact that there's a 𝘁𝗀. I like the fact that it's on 𝘀rie. He played well in game 1. If he could do that again in game 2 with a 𝘁𝗀, surely there's a lot of potential picks that Versus Guy can make.
Yep, and I'm gonna curse Buffalo now because I'm gonna say that their draft is much better. I think they have a really nice identity, as said before. I think they have very much long range catch, right? You want to go with TF card, with Lux binding, and then just burst one target down on really high range and then take the 4v5. Your Olaf is very good at closing out fights and basically getting onto the enemy backline, making sure they can't play the game. And with 𝘁𝗀, Lucian, Nami, they are very attackable for an Olaf. If he gets close, which he usually with the ultimate can get, he can do a lot of damage there. And on the other hand, you have a good team fighting comp with Lee Sin, with Wukong, and you have a 𝘁𝗀 on top of that can take out targets one by one. So I think that Versus Guy, they have a chance and they have decent champions, but I just think against what the Buffaloes brought and how they played last game, there isn't any chance for them.
𝘀cie.
Also, yeah, I would echo that statement. Gotta say though that the draft cannon is not nearly as big as the last time. Buffalo, clear identity, winning lanes with Olaf looks really good. They do get outscaled if they do not manage to get a lead here, but I think they will. So I also agree with cursing Buffalo and saying it will be a 2-0 for them.
𝘀cie, I've just realized that your background, and I know our viewers can't see it as clearly because it's slightly more zoomed in, but I've just realized your background is a canyon. So credit on that one. Yeah, to be honest, I don't really look at you that much. I'm too busy looking at Tim's lovely white background. But okay, with that, I'm going to be telling you two to go take a lovely break. Enjoy yourselves. We'll be back they'll be back after this game. I'm sure it won't take that long for 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀 to take a 2-0. Marby, hop back on in.
Hello, and I am very excited to see the Caitlyn Lux again. It is the go-to answer against the the Lucian Nami. And we've seen Buffalo play it against both teams. They've dominated the lane. Against Cerberus, they fell short, getting caught out to nice brush plays, nice sort of individual movements from the side of Rono, P, and Artemis, but they crushed 𝘀, and we saw the Ludens come out for the Lux. So I think it'll be a very similar thing. If they get rolling, we're going to see that AP Lux come through. And on the other side, yeah, there's a lot of things that they can do. They have great pick potential with Wukong, 𝘁𝗀, and Lee Sin. Fantastic top side to find picks and see if they can make things work from there. Now we just have to sort of... And I think the big thing is actually Drakthars Lee Sin having more priority in the early game than the Graves, who doesn't do a goddamn thing. And we saw just how much pressure was lost instantly by Sky just completely controlling the bot lane, getting the dragon on spawn, and from there it was kind of just a roll.
Well, 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 are going to be starting things up from the get-go with a late invade on to the blue buffer. 𝘀𝗀, meanwhile, is going to be forced to start on 𝘁𝗀's blue. And what does that mean, 𝘁𝗶? It means potential vertical jungling.
It means vertical jungling, and it means 𝘁𝗏 has to be very careful because it was a very good move from Ryuk. Got the early trading. That's what you absolutely need to do on Wukong to actually have a chance in this matchup. Otherwise, you don't really get to be the counter, get the counter part of the counter matchup going. But it also means SGB can push with abandon and do a lot of damage to our Mine, forcing the cleanse already. Going for the kill at level 1. Fellas, I think that's a bit much, but complete lane control. Both defensive summoners blown for, well, actually all summoners blown outside flashes. Very good aggression coming out from SGB. And let's see if they can keep up this poke and whittle down Burst the Sky's bot lane.
You'd have to think so, and that vertical jungling coming through is, ooh, nice and purple. I didn't realize we had some Lulu being played, but either way, we are seeing 𝘀rie getting a nice CS advantage over 𝘀𝐸, and we aren't even 3 minutes into this game yet.
Yeah, got the shove very early. It's somewhat to be expected with the matchup. Getting him very nice under tower, holding him there extremely well, and that's what you need to be trying to do against this Twisted Fate. Now that becomes harder and harder as the points get put into wildcards and you can just sort of auto-clear waves, but at this point in time, that's what you want. And meanwhile, Buffalo, just hard shoving. It's going to be a little bit harder to just mine plates, because you don't have quite the aggressive lane advantage as before. So 𝘁𝗏 and Ryuk getting a little spicy.
To be fair, Amine and 𝘁𝐿io playing this matchup much better than when they had the Leona. Maybe that's because 𝘁𝐿io can't just randomly engage us. We talk about the likes of Lee Syndrome and Thresh Syndrome, you know, you land the hook and then you go in. Leona Syndrome is a lot worse because you just want to perma-press E. Your finger's just glued to the E button. If you ever see an opportunity, you have to press it.
Yeah, you see that and you've sort of damned the consequences because, hey, I just pressed W and I'm okay, right? That's what goes through your mind. But yeah, it felt really bad up against the Leona and the Morgana and the Caitlyn because, yeah, you went in, but they could keep you CC longer than your W. And that really hurt. This time, yeah, you can't force yourself to go in. The CC isn't quite as long either, so you're not too bothered, but the poke is heavier, and you're seeing Amina, even with that Nami W, kind of getting forced right back out of the lane.
Well, right now, 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 are beating Burst the Sky, at least in this bottom lane. Actually, they're winning more in the top lane. 𝘁𝗏 is throwing Ryuk around, although there is a very large wave that is about to crash towards Ryuk.
Yeah, absolutely. A huge wave to crash. Going to be very nice for 𝘁𝗏. He's also gotten a back off. So has Ryuk, but Ryuk did a cheater recall while 𝘁𝗏 teleported straight to lane. So that's where a bit of the advantage comes in. And now it's time for Buffalo to try and punish with this massive wave. But good warding on the top side means Ryuk should be safe. Especially now.
Yep, and Ryuk will be able to go back to farming. This means that 𝘀rie did have to teleport up. He lands a sleepy trouble bubble, won't be able to do anything more than that. Okay, 𝘁𝗏 saying hello. If 3 weren't enough, let's go for 4. An undertow comes through the engage onto Ryuk, and it's going to be a kill going over to 𝘁𝗏. Somehow no one dies. They land a sleepy trouble bubble, but the flash forward gets the kill onto 𝘀rie. 𝘁𝗀 will die due to the tower aggro. 2-4-1. 𝘀𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 coming out on top.
Heads up play from 𝘁𝗀 at the end there. But yeah, from here, what are you even meant to do as Ryuk? The gold card follows you through the clone. And yeah, here's just beautiful heads up from 𝘁𝗀 with the he knows he's dead. He knows the bubble's gonna hold him under tower and he dies. So kills 𝘀rie, dies to the tower, so no chance of an assist to 𝘀𝗏 or 𝘁𝗏. Fantastic stuff. And that's another kill. 𝘁𝗏 stuck around.
Okay, but so has oh no, the Sonic Wave kills the minion. It means he can't dash on in. I think he might try to stay though. Could be a little bit greedy. He's just going to end up having to pick up the wave. Can't do anything more, but Ryuk teleported in and died. So that's just even more gold down the drain, more experience down the drain for this Wukong.
Yeah, really good pressure from 𝘀ecie, sticking around on the top side, punishing 𝘁𝗀ci's teleport. And now he's gonna just be even further behind, down that 20 CS mark. And on that on the bot side, we see 𝘀𝗀 getting to claw back a little bit of extra CS in that 2v1 scenario against the Caitlyn, which is great, which is good to see. You want that Lucian to still be relevant, because he falls off a lot harder without gold compared to the what's his face, the Wukong, because Wukong gets to just jump in a circle, say I'm monkey, and spin in a circle forever.
Yeah, and if he's strong monkey, then he hurts. But it's like, depending on how fed you can get, it essentially changes what kind of monkey you are. So we've got an engage on 𝘀𝗀, you need to work on your sonic waves. But it's going back to the monkey point. It's like, if you're a fed monkey, it's like a gorilla spinning around and hitting you. That does a lot of damage. But if 𝘁𝗀ci right now, he's like a capuchin. That's nothing. That's just cute. It just motivates you seeing him use it.
Yeah. And that's like, if they keep going, we're going to be looking at a spider monkey in the top lane, which they're adorable. I love the little fellas, but they're not threatening. They're not particularly threatening to look at. So
is it the spider monkeys or is it the howler monkeys that have like that are really loud? I'd imagine howler monkeys.
Howler. That it's kind of in the name, mate.
It is, but sometimes animals are given weird names, right? I'm not going to go into some of the weird names that animals are given, but there are weird names for animals.
Absolutely are. But now we have to look towards this top side, because the weird animal that is the Rift Herald is the focus. 𝘀𝗀 and 𝘁𝗀 do have first priority, as we see a very late rotation coming up from 𝘀cie and Shogun, but
card.
They can have impact.
Oh, it's a flash forward. The gold card comes through. Light binding flashed away by 𝘀𝗀. 𝘀𝗀ci, can they turn this around? Oh, 𝘁𝗀, that's going to have to get tanked by 𝘀𝗀, who is now down to half HP. Really trying to make his way in, and that is a cute Capuchin ultimate. But never mind, maybe it's a little bit more deadly, because 𝘁𝗀 is able to find a kill. It makes it a 1-for-1 so far. Jungler for top laner. 𝘀𝗀 gets the kill onto Hasmed, and 𝘀𝗀ci will say, we'll take this Rift Herald, thank you very much, as they close down the gold deficit to 𝘂𝗏𝑢𝐿𝑢.
Buffalo completely fumble. They completely fumble that. They split up the fight. Froggy jumps to the top side and then can't actually work out which clone is the real monkey. So he actually gets a huge channel off and has the ability to kill BeanJ. And then, of course, a great ult from 𝘀𝗀 here keeps Shogun and 𝘀𝗀ci completely far away. They can't re-engage. That means Hasmed and Froggy are left completely alone. And then 𝘁𝗀ci getting a bubble, picking it up. That's a fantastic series of events for Sky, and they kept the gold much closer this game, so maybe they can try and convert it with this Rift Herald, drop it towards the mid lane, give 𝘁𝗀ci that gold, get him racing towards that Ludens.
I also want to bring up, 𝘀𝗀ci missed another Q there, because he almost landed a Sonic Wave onto Shogun, and if he had, he could have probably got a kill as well. Something I do want to bring up is, I quite like how 𝘂𝗏𝗏𝗀 actually approached this game at the start, in the sense that they said, hey, we've got Caitlyn again. 𝘀𝗀ci are going to think we're going to heavy play around bot side. And instead, they actually played around top. They got loads of kills onto 𝘁𝗀ci. And I think it has caught out 𝘀𝗀ci a lot. Ace in the hole. That's a healing. That's an empowered auto. 𝘀𝗀, what is it with illusions having to deal with Caitlyn damage?
Shogun just knows this champion inside and out. Been spamming it since Arcane, I suppose. Big fan, as 𝘀𝗀ci cranking out damage, but caught out.
Well, 𝘁𝗀ci picks up the kill. Come on, 𝘀𝗀ci. Can you land a Sonic Wave? No, I think that's 6 out of 6 Sonic Waves missed so far from 𝘀𝗀ci. He's not having a good game on the lead set.
That one's fair. The net took him out.
Okay, the previous one, when he arrived in the lane, was not a good Q.
No, that one wasn't great. But that last one's forgivable. As we see here, yeah, 𝘀𝗀ci, he gets a little overhyped, and then just, caught by the wave. So much CC drags him down. And yeah, it's a little bit over-aggressive, but you can feel them. They just got the kill onto 𝘀𝗀. They felt hyphy, but they didn't really have the support to keep it up. And 𝘀𝗀ci's damage, not quite there yet. Not quite up to sort of the Ludens type. But 𝘀𝗀 has to be a little bit careful as BJ's hunted.
BJ is being hunted, and 𝘀𝗀ci, after all of that, they now find themselves 3,000 gold down. So I talked about how they got Rift Herald, how they were closing down the gold deficit, but they've actually found themselves further and further behind. Oh, 𝘀𝗀𝗺 is just sniped as soon as he goes over the wall. Is he going to die to the Ignite?
No, so close. But looking at this pressure has meant he still has the Rift Herald. He hasn't dropped it. He didn't try and drop it after the initial play onto 𝘀𝗀𝗰𝗀𝗀 where they actually got the kill, where they probably could have tried to convert it. And 𝘀𝗀𝗰 had its flash blown in the mid lane. 𝘁𝗏𝗏 Ryuk trading on the top side.
Oh, there's a destiny.
Very low.
Ryuk needs to try to find a way to outplay this. 𝘀𝗀𝗰 not even needed in the end. He's just showing up to be a pretty face in the lane. But again, 𝘀𝗀𝗰 finds himself 30 CS up on 𝘀𝗀𝗰, and I'm really disappointed, Marby, that coming into Game 2, 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗃 have not played around 𝘀𝗀𝗰. It's 𝘀𝗀𝗰 who's had to try to make stuff happen in the top lane, ended up dying, trading a kill onto B&J. Again, going to the bottom lane. I haven't seen 𝘀𝗀𝗃 trying to punish 𝘀𝗀𝗰 once in this mid lane.
Yeah, and I mean, it's because outside of that Rift Herald play, 𝘀𝗏 is playing purely reactive. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 in particular, he's reacting to the plays that SGB are trying to make, and it's not working out. You see that Ryuk's being targeted heavily and suffering for it. And 𝘀𝗀𝗃, he's been able to pick up those three assists along the way, but not having nearly the impact of even just like 𝘁𝗀𝗃. B&J hasn't exactly been the most impactful on the scoreline, but he's been there. He's kept his presence down and made sure Shogun feels safe most of the time. That's all he needs to do. And really, 𝘀𝗀𝗃 has been showing up as the premier jungler. We saw in that top side play, he didn't actually get an assist, but he absolutely deserved it for keeping the vision on Ryuk so 𝘁𝗏𝗏 can get the rundown. And it's a pick up of the Infernal with great setup, good poke out, and it's Chemtech Rift again. This means that's going to be a hot topic issue for these teams as it progresses. As a fight in the mid lane breaks out, and we're not going to get to see
Big
it.
fight in the mid lane. 𝘁𝗏𝗏 is going to be able to get the kill onto Shogun. 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏 will fall himself. So it's ADC for ADC, but I think BTS will be more than happy with how that one has panned out. Meanwhile, in the top lane, can 𝘀𝗀𝗃 finally land a Sonic Wave? Yes, he can! And he'll take the kill. To be honest, I think he should have given that one over to Ryuk.
Yeah, probably, but we're still all there. It's two scattered fights. Numbers advantages in both because 𝘀𝗀𝗃 is pushing the bot lane. And here we see, 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏 jump straight onto Shogun, but the damage is just insane that he's able to do enough for B&J to clean it up in trade. So, very good work out of them. And 𝘀𝗀𝗃, he's just hanging out in the bot lane as 𝘁𝗏𝗏 gets killed, overextends a little bit. It's nothing they can do. They can't react to it because, everything happened in the mid lane.
We got a fast
somewhere along the
𝘁𝗏𝗏.
we just saw 𝘁𝗏𝗏 hang around, get picked off. There's a lot of damage.
I mean, you're Nami, you're going to get blown up by anything, right?
Yeah. 𝘀𝗏𝗏 does a lot of bursts, and so does TF at this point in the game. So, very unfortunate to be a Nami.
Well, I feel like every time 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗃 make a play, I'm like, oh look, 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗃 made a play. 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗃 got like a 1-for-1 kill. 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗃 closing the gold. The gold gap actually increases because now it's almost 5k as we see 𝘁𝗀𝗃𝗃 almost picking up the outer tower in the top lane. It would be their second tower of the game, but it survives on a very small amount of health.
Yeah, and that's because the top lane, despite that kill going down, is still obscene. Look at that CS lead. It's pushing 60. You have 20 near to 30 in the bot lane as well. Just so much gold being lost in pure CS that it's keeping SGB very comfortably ahead of SGB right now. And 𝘁𝗏𝗏𝗏 ahead of 𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗃. And there we go. We're seeing a little bit of poke in from 𝘁𝗃𝗃, but they have lost that Rift Herald. Very good idea of them not to try and overforce a fight there, but they are still a little bit slow around these Rift Heralds, and it's such an important objective within the VCS. That's a bit of a problem, I think, for the Buffalo.
And we did see in Game 1 some moments where Saigon Buffalo made some questionable plays and 𝘀𝗃𝗃𝗃 were able to come back a little bit. It was just a little blip, but I feel like in this game, when there is 𝘀𝗀𝗃 on this Zoe, and I feel like there's a few more scaling options for 𝘀𝗃𝗃𝗃 if they can get into the later stages of the game. Saigon Buffalo have to be a little bit more careful with how recklessly they play. I
mean, the very obvious one is you look at the bot lane. It's it's Gale Force to Gale Force. It's not Gale Force to tier plus Lost Chapter. It's not Shogun not working quite with what he had in the last game. Feeling a little bit sad about that, but still has that range, still has that pressure, and can easily chunk down these towers. So,
okay, Tidal Wave will come through. Won't be able to find the knock-up onto anyone. Glory's going to be able to find the sleep on to the Lux. But 𝗀𝗀 able to tank the Paddle Star. Now the Rift Herald being dropped by BTS, who want to break open the mid lane. All the while, 𝘀gie just pushing in the top lane. He's going to be able to get a tower. He's going to be able to back and maybe teleport in. But no, he's actually going to cancel the back momentarily. Glory still just fishing, just trying to find plays, just trying to poke down 𝘁𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗀. And if he can land one good trouble bubble,
good smite.
Could be a kill.
Yeah, has to find his way in. He could look for some sort of flank if he wanted to, but with Shogun not really being able to join the fight, it would be pretty bold. They just need to. As 𝘁𝗃𝗃, good flash from 𝘁𝗃𝗃.
Very well played by 𝘁𝗃𝗃. 𝘀𝗃𝗃 actually landing a Q. He's going to land another Q onto 𝗀𝗀. We memed about how 𝘀𝗃𝗃 kept missing his Qs. Glory almost sniped down by the final spark. That's going to be a 𝘁𝗃 into the backline with the Cyclone. He's going to be able to find one. 𝘀gie goes golden. Will stay alive. 4 members alive for the side of 𝘀𝗃𝗃. Shogun down. Can't use the ace in the hole as the Shock Blast almost snipes on it to 𝘀𝗃𝗃. 𝘀𝗃𝗃 get 2 kills for 1.
And you have to think, look at SGB's range, look at their damage, their poke. They have to be very careful on Sky. 𝘀𝗃𝗃 is on a ward. The bubble does miss. Looking for 𝘁𝗃's ult, still a while away. Not quite at that 30-second ultimate timer yet. Very, very dicey on both sides. Sky walking away with the kill advantage, but the health lead meant SGB were able to get the tower in response. Now we're gonna probably see the reprise of that come for this Drake.
And here's a quick replay of what happened, and it all starts with 𝘀𝗃𝗃 landing that Q.
Yeah, 𝘀𝗃𝗃 starts it off, but Buffalo are very confident, but it's just Shogun being so aggressive that he gets caught by the bubble, and it sets up for 𝘁𝗃 to just dive on top of him. And look, Sky got away with murder here. 𝘀𝗃𝗃, Glory, 𝘁𝗃𝗃, 𝘀𝗃𝗃, they all walk away on barely anything. And it's actually Buffalo first to the scene, and they get to pick it up, and 𝘁𝗃𝗃's dead.
𝘁𝗃𝗃's just picked off, and 𝘀gie will destiny his way in. Meanwhile, 𝘁𝗃 coming onto the backline. They're looking for 𝗀𝗀. Final Spark will be able to tag onto 𝘁𝗃. And Shogun picks up the kill with that huge 𝘁𝗃𝗃 range. Sleepy Trouble Bubble will not land onto 𝘀gie, but the Tidal Wave will. He'll find the knock-up. 𝘀𝗃𝗃 follows in with the Resonating Strike. Another Trouble Bubble. It's onto the 𝘁𝗃𝗃, who will use a 90 caliber net. Out comes the culling. Shogun down low, and 𝘀𝗃𝗃𝗃 gets his revenge. Glory sends his regards. Resonating Strike in 𝘀𝗃𝗃, unable to get the kill. Super unlucky from the Burst of Sky jungler. But Glory is starting to face, and Glory is being relatively successful as well.
Glory finding bubble after bubble, it's insane. So it starts off with just a great pick onto 𝘁𝗃𝗃. 𝘀gie, he used the Destiny Gate to try and catch off, to try and help 𝘁𝗃𝗃, but ends up just on the wrong side of everything and just getting chased through these corridors. That bubble, it doesn't hit, but it does force 𝘀gie to back off into range of 𝘀𝗃𝗃, into the Tidal Wave. And then look at this! Look at this! Portal jumps to get the angle and gets it onto Shogun! It's insane! And then 𝘀𝗃𝗃, oh my god, he lands another one and 𝘀𝗃𝗃 dies because he doesn't quite have the damage for it, but oh my god, it's just insane stuff coming out of Glory in particular. But SGB fighting in those corridors, not the place you really want to fight up against Burst of Sky, because that's where their comp shines. They have so much CC that can cut down corridors and make sure you can't actually play the game. So it's Buffalo. Look, you have to fight in the open. You have to fight in the lanes, not in the jungle.
You need vision. You can't be getting caught out by those trouble bubbles. And hey, if there's more space, there's more chance that 𝘀𝗃𝗃 misses those sonic waves, that he's all of a sudden started being laser focused into hitting heat-guided missiles. The sonic waves are becoming 12 kills to 11. All of a sudden, Burst of Sky only down by 4,000 gold. There is a Baron up on the map. We have our next Chemtech Rift in 2.5 minutes. And the Chemtech Rift, once you get these little pockets, it gives 𝘀ecie ways to try to catch out members of Saigon Buffalo if they get a little bit too greedy with their positioning.
Yeah, it gives everyone a little bit of thing. Your stealth wards no longer actually really don't do anything in the area. So you need to just place these random vision wards down and hope for the best. Hope they spend too much time clearing them so that you can actually do something on a funky side of the map. But 𝘀cie sitting in the top side, surrounded by a lot of people as the pressure comes into the bot lane for SGB. Unfortunately, they don't quite have the wave in position to really get the damage down. But with only Ryuk in position and 𝘀𝗻𝗃 next to it with Shogun, that should be a pickup. That's 600 gold to the team. And a further more gold in the pockets of Buffalo. They have a pretty healthy lead. It's mostly coming out of the top and mid lane, but that's where you kind of want it. The Taki is not to be snuffed.
𝘀cie dashing to 𝘀𝗀ie, giving the safeguard and keeping 𝘀𝗀ie quite literally safe. And Saigon Buffalo still have the advantage. They are still nearly 5,000 gold ahead, but there is hope for 𝘀cie. 𝘀𝗻𝗃, stronger than Shogun. 𝘀cie, absolutely massive. But the issue is, when you've got a Zoe ahead, it all requires that Zoe to be able to find a flank angle, be able to find a trouble bubble, because otherwise, the Zoe can't do anything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just Zoe needs to be able to sort of find her way in into these weird angles where she can utilize the walls, utilize the corridors, which is why sort of fighting in the mid lane, fighting around these pits, are a little bit more awkward for her. If they go towards the Baron, it's good, because 𝘀cie gets to approach from top side where the walls are. But in a Dragon in particular, which is going to be the big focus right now in 30 seconds, yeah, it's a little bit more rough for the Zoe to make things happen. 𝘀cie getting a little spicy.
It's getting a tiny bit spicy. We do have that dragon up in 20 seconds time. Saigon Buffalo currently control the river. And you can see how fed 𝘀𝗀𝗃 is as well. Nearly has 3 items completed. Ryuk halfway towards his second item. Oh, they're able to catch out 𝘀cie. 𝘀𝗻𝗃 will be forced to tank the ace in the hole. And that's it. 𝘀cie can no longer contest this Drake.
Yeah, it's huge. It doesn't actually do... It's not the best, because 𝘀cie does have teleport, so can rejoin. But with them already on the Drake, yeah, it's just gone. The damage is insane. Watch for 𝘀cie, though.
Anyway. Teleport comes through. Ryuk trying to get onto 𝘀𝗀𝗃, but he's just going to get absolutely popped. As out come the cutting. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 will get taken down. 𝘀𝗻𝗃 gets the kill. It's a 1-for-1 so far. 𝘀cie, can he find anyone? No, he can't. The Everforce is going to be able to find a slow. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 in. There's the flash. There's the insect. They're able to find the pick. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 being run down by 𝘁𝗀𝗃, but the rest of 𝘀𝗀𝗃 are showing up. 𝘁𝗀𝗃 able to sidestep the Sonic Wave. But it's 𝘀𝗀𝗃 who get 2 kills for 1. Sure, they lose the Drake, but there is a Baron on the cards now, Marby.
Shogun, you doofus! You fool! You absolute buffoon! Flash the pit! Walk away! Sure. Oh, I dodged everything. Yeah, Lee Sin just jumped in and insect you. You're dead, mate. Don't show off. Play the safe one. You're the big carry. And look, Ryuk just kind of sprinted it, but he has a teleport. He can rejoin. Look at you. You're 5 miles away. You are going to be worthless in this Baron fight.
This could be a play that both teams look at as a game-defining play. Final spark comes through. 𝘀cie still alive. 𝘀𝗻𝗃 forced to go over the wall on a sliver of HP as the Baron will reset. 𝘁𝗀𝗃 killed by 𝘀𝗀𝗃. They get another kill, but they are forced away from the Baron. And 𝘀𝗻𝗃 very lucky to still be alive.
Yeah, they are lucky. 𝘀𝗀𝗃's packing a punch to this game, because they're able to force them off the Baron with only the cost of 𝘁𝗀𝗃, and they do have that soul point. So in the next 3 minutes, they can sort of do it again, and then maybe you're allowed to sit in the pit and be a little bit of a duffer. But Shogun, you gave up so much pressure. I'm very unhappy with that passage of play. Alright, but where are we at from here? Buffalo still, of course, have sort of the advantage. 4k gold lead, soul point, most of the towers down, which does mean there is, of course, the opportunity for Sky to come back. There's a lot of standing gold on the map, even more so with objective bounties in play. So if they can find picks, if they can find SGB lacking on one side of the map, they can pick up a fair amount of gold off a good tower push. So we want to see that sort of thing come together for them. But on the other hand, I just want to see SGB sort of get your waves into sort of slow pushes on the sides, group up around the Baron, and then try and sort of have something happen. Have them come towards you where they can get caught out by proper setup Caitlyn traps, which Shogun isn't doing, by the way. He's not blocking off these avenues in like that small entrance to the river. Block those off. It makes it a little bit harder, and now Froggy's just caught out completely.
Okay, Culling comes through, but they're not going to be able to get the kill onto Froggy. Dracthar down to half HP, now looking towards BJ, but BJ separated from the rest of the team. The damage coming through. Dracthar needs one more auto. Warthog behind it. Cyclone comes through. It's another kill. Sonic Wave, resonating strike. Dracthar might die as out comes the panel. Standard double bubble. It tags onto Husband and bursts the sky. Take the fight. They take 3 kills for nothing. Goal difference be damned!
It's gonna go straight to a free Baron. What the hell can Buffalo do? They can't do anything. Glory's just running down, running interference, making sure there's no hope of like a Luck Salt steal or... he killed Shogun as well on top of it. It's just... Froggy! What are you doing? Destined gating in front of an army like that? You can't do that!
For all the Burst of Sky fans out there, make sure to give your thanks to Tim for dropping the old caster curse on the side of 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀.
Okay,
so that...
Glory just lands a bubble.
Ding, ding.
Playing,
No
just
pinball.
being fancy boy. Yeah,
Okay.
just smurfing on it.
Now, Burst of Sky are even in gold, but they feel like they're ahead in this game, but 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 have a Chemtech Rift available and a Chemtech Soul if they can get the next Drake, and if they are able to do what they've done before the last couple of Drakes, which is find a little pick, burst down Glory really low with 𝘁cie, which is exactly what he does, and Glory's down to half HP. Now he's going to have to reset as we've got to engage on the other side. Tidal Wave comes through. I mean, it's just going to be able to find the kill onto Husband, and now it doesn't matter that Glory's low because Burst of Sky have a 5v4.
Glory also has that red buff, so he's slowly chipping back up. It's on to BJ to find that ultimate. And he is 3 levels down on Dracthar. He has not found any CS, and yet another bubble lands from Glory. It's
Look
just
at
so
Ryuk.
much. Oh god, 𝘀cie, yeah, he's got it.
Ryuk is looking for the flank. Glory got engaged on with the gold card. Ryuk into the backline. He's got to find a 3-man Cyclone as the rest of Burst of Sky join into the fray. Shogun on the sliver of HP, and no one will die from BTS. They just get the kills. They walk out Final Spark onto Ryuk. Not going to do anywhere near enough damage, and now there's no Final Spark to try to steal this Drake away. Burst of Sky, it's only their 2nd Drake of the game. The 𝘀cie𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 are still on Soul Point, Marby, but things are starting to get dire for them. 𝘁cie? 𝘁cie!
Okay, not quite, but it's, yeah, Buffalo are just not able to find the fights. They are getting torn apart in these late game situations. They aren't setting up properly. They don't have the vision down. And it's just ending up with picks going the way of Sky this time around. Husmed this time just got blown out, completely caught out of position from his team. There was very little BJ and Froggy could do. They are just so far behind their counterparts. And Shogun and 𝘁cie, they're getting collapsed on by Ryuk. They're removed from the fight as well. It's just nothing is coming together. This mid-jungle collapse from SGB. How are they so far down? How is BJ level 12? Alio has more experience than him. It's just... Oh my god, this man is not finding anything.
Well, Dracthar is starting to find stuff. Remember back 10 minutes ago when I was memeing about how Dracthar couldn't land a single Sonic Wave? And now he's starting to find plays. I think one of the best parts of Burst of Sky in this game, in the recent few minutes, has just been Ryuk just going in. It doesn't matter if he was 0-8 or 1-8 or whatever he was. He just goes in and finds a Cyclone, buys so much time for Burst of Sky. It is quite ridiculous.
Yeah, Ryuk has been able to build so much time, take out the big actual damage threat from SGB Shogun not able to have the impact this game, but on the other side, yeah, you're seeing 𝘀𝗀 finding Sonic Waves, finding avenues into the fight. 𝘀łory, of course, bubble after bubble after bubble after bubble. It cannot be said enough how good this guy is on Zoe. And my god, it's just crazy. The turnaround, because this start of the game was kind of looking like it might be a run back.
Yeah, it was a, 6-7k goal lead to the side of 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗹𝗀 at one point. And as you said, it's been a rather bubbly performance from 𝘀łory. He's been playing rather well. And as we mentioned at the start of this game, Zoe yet to win a single game in the VCS Winter Split. And maybe now is the opportunity for 𝘀łory and Zoe to get their first win of the Winter Split. But
I'm having a little bit of joy with the original members of 𝘀%, the only ones left on Burst the Sky, 𝘀łory and 𝘀𝑎𝑙𝑖O, playing the Bubble Sisters, having a good time.
There you go.
Lots of bubble.
And they've both been playing well. Both won Death Sisters as well in that regard. Burst the Sky, though, find themselves 3,500 gold ahead of 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗹𝗀. And right now, it's just push waves, wait for Baron in just under 2 minutes, and then 𝘁𝗀𝗃 in just over 2 minutes.
Yeah, and it's looking harder and harder for SGB to actually get something done. 𝘁𝗀𝗃 choosing to forego the Luden's Echo in favor of the Crown of Shattered Queen. Sure, it means she'll be a little bit safer in if she gets jumped on, but you're losing that penetration. And there have been a few times where maybe that Luden's Echo could have snagged a kill where it didn't before. So, sort of trying to split the difference between being safe and doing damage and winding up with neither result.
Well, I mean, on one side, if it keeps you alive, you can then do more damage. So there's that angle as well.
But if you don't kill 𝘀łory with the initial burst, he kills your entire team.
Yeah. I mean, that being said, if you haven't been hit with Crown of Shattered Queen, you are doing more damage.
True, but I still think, less than the Ludens.
Oh my god, 𝘁𝗀𝗃's taking a lot of damage. 𝘁𝗀𝗃 going in, going out, taken down, but 𝘀łory will get vengeance.
Oh my god, that landed. Careful,
Guy with 2 kills for 1. And that's going to be a final spark. He's not really on the wave. 𝘀łory fishing, 𝘀łory taking damage. The auto comes in, Shogun gets vengeance. Ryuk on the runner, almost got caught out for a second. Ace in the hole, come through, but 𝘁𝗀𝗃, he's going to have the damage in a second. They're trying to zone this one away. Final spark not going to connect it. It's a one-man Aqua prison. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 going back in, looking on 𝘁𝗁𝗃. He gets a knock-up with a kick. 𝘁𝗁𝗃's going to fall. Another Sonic Wave, another resonating strike. 𝘁𝗃 will be able to pull one back, but Burst the Sky end up winning the fight. Drake in 40 seconds. Baron already up on the rift.
It's a good save for SGB. It means they can buy the time for the Drake to come back up. 𝘁𝗀𝗃 and 𝘀𝗀𝗃 are up already. 𝘁𝗀𝗃 is up as well, but he can't access the fight quite as quickly. And so a Buffalo should have positioning on the Drake. And if they can get that Drake, then that fight looks, it looks a hell of a lot different for SGB, doesn't it? Because they have 2 lives. They got to do it twice.
You can understand why 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗹𝗀 chased for that. They wanted to kill 𝘀𝗀𝗃. They wanted to be able to have priority for Drake, but now this is going to be a little bit coin flip. 𝘀𝗀𝗃 is not up. 𝘁𝗀𝗃 could steal this. He's got flash available. Smite is now up. Can he do this? 𝘁𝗀𝗃 going on in. Can he steal it? He's stolen the soul. 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗹𝗀 have their win condition back in the game, Marby. Oh, boys.
It goes down for it, but hey, it's worth it. Now you can crack on and fight this mid lane, this Baron. Let's see what happens here. 𝘁𝗀𝗃, he goes hard, he goes deep, and he gets punished. And then, yeah, look, Sky are just playing with their food a little bit. They're just so aggressive. Ryuk and 𝘀𝗀𝗃, Shogun can't do damage. I don't think he has the Infinity Edge at this point, looking at how he tickles the front line. But as you see in the picture-in-picture, Baron is going down. It is all but gone. And no response from the Buffalo. That's free. But yeah, but back in this, 𝘀𝗀𝗃, he saves it, flies in, flash kick, knocks out Shogun, and Ryuk's able to convert.
That was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was the only bad thing 𝘀𝗀𝗃 did in that play.
Follow the last cue?
Yeah, exactly. The 𝘁 syndrome, it's a true disease. But, okay, Burst the Sky, right, they're 5,000 gold ahead, but they don't have soul. The soul is on the side of 𝘀𝗰𝗵𝗹𝗀. And 𝘁𝗃 has an 81% win rate. I remember 𝘀𝗀𝗋 tweeting a stat about it. It is the highest win rate soul. For those people who have not seen 𝘁𝗃 in action, essentially, if you die, you come back to life for 4 seconds or so where you can use all of your abilities. Okay. Oh, 𝘀𝗀𝗃.
Okay.
I feel like 𝘀𝗀𝗃... I feel like 𝘀𝗀𝗃 need to end this game with this Baron push.
It's either that or you're stuck waiting for that Elder flip. And I don't know how well that's going to go for either team, to be perfectly honest. I could not predict it. It's just, we're getting to the point where gold matters less and less. Sure, it's 5,000, but if we can actually see the scoreboard, which would be nice, we could see that item parity is probably very, very similar across the board. I remember Shogun, he's on 5 items plus a stopwatch, so he's very happy with his position right now. Can chunk out a lot of damage, especially onto the squishy members of Burst the Sky. But 𝘁𝗀𝗃, maybe he can find something.
But he's going to be able to snipe onto 𝘀𝗃. I want to say the one good thing for Burst the Sky is they have Glory. And with Glory, he can find picks. And if he can get a kill, it's not in a situation where 𝘁𝗁𝗁𝗆 can say, hey, look, we've got this 𝘁𝗃, we can keep on the fight. Well, no, because Glory's already on the other side of the map.
Yeah, if they can find these, like, huge, like, nukes from the side of the Zoe, yeah, you can actually completely make the Rift, the Soul irrelevant, because, yeah, they go down, but they can't actually pump out damage from the grave. But we see Shogun trying to do a few Glory things himself, just layering the damage into 𝘀𝗀𝗋. Should be able to heal it up pretty happily, but the poke is not to be snuffed at from the side of SGB.
Froggy's just splitting. The sleep comes through. 𝘁𝗁 drop down. Final spark really blows the health bars of Burst the Sky. A sleepy trapper bubble will land onto BTS. Glory forced to use the stolen flash to get out to safety. There's a teleport coming in
Where's
from
the
Rio.
gate? Wait for the
I
gate.
don't think... Where is the Destiny Gate? No! 𝘁𝗁's just teleported into the top lane. He's just pushing this one. Someone needs to go and answer, but the back will be stopped by 𝘁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁. Empowered from Glory will take him out to safety and enable him to match 𝘁𝗁 on this push.
Oh, good play from 𝘁𝗁, but he has to book it now. 𝘀𝗃.
All on the
Should
Sonic
be a very
Wave.
easy land.
He gets the slow. He lands the Sonic Wave. Doesn't even need the resonating strike. They pop the 𝘁𝗃. 𝘁𝗁 going in onto 𝘁𝗀𝗋. Almost going to be able to get the kill in force. 𝘁𝗁 actually burning the flash and gets nothing out of it in the process. Now 𝘁𝗁 is down. Baron buff is gone. Elder in 2 minutes. Baron in 2 minutes 40. But I mean, this is so darn close.
It's so tense. Super minions in one wave each for the side of things. And Sky, they're just pushing. They're trying extremely hard, but they just take too much poke. The Lux ultimate is able to clean up 𝘀𝗀𝗋. And then, look, there's a mismatch of ideas here from SGB. They teleport Froggy in, so the response is from Ryuk, and so they go, oh, maybe we should send 𝘁𝗁𝗁 up and try and split push. I think if 𝘁𝗁 sticks around, they have a chance they can actually turn it and win the fight, and then actually maybe find a push to the end. But instead, it's just an inhibitor trade overall. As Winion's doing a lot of work down here, and 𝘁𝗁, yeah, he sees the low health bar in Glory, but with this engage, with the slowings, chilling smite, there's no hope for 𝘁𝗁 to get out of there. No hope for him to get the return kill either. But now everyone's up.
3 wins and 4 losses. The battle for 4th place in the VCS. 40 minutes into the game. Another Baron on the cards. The first Elder of the game on the cards. A game-defining fight. Moments away. And look at 𝘁𝗁 again into the side lane. Do Burst the Sky, are they forced to find a fight, or do they just reset and try to answer the push?
I think they're looking to reset. I'm not entirely sure if that's just answer to 𝘁𝗁, or rather, like, we just want to sort of refresh our wards because we have to try and ward out a 𝘁𝗃. Good joke, but watch 𝘀𝗃 on a really deep angle. SGP does not seem to have noticed them, even though he's thrown Qs at them
And landed them. Okay, 𝘀𝗀 getting taken down low. He's going to go golden. 𝘁𝗲, can he join into the fry? Aqua Prison finds a CC. Finds the kill. Does he go in with a Cyclone? 𝘀𝗀 still has a gold card. He's going to be able to drop it. Ace in the hole through as well. Ryuk taken down low, but it's a 5v4. 𝘀𝗀 down for 50 seconds. And there are minions crashing or pushing in the top lane. 𝘁𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗹𝘀, they're not even going to contest Elder. This is such a risky play, Marby. This is such a game flip.
Yeah, they only need to keep 𝘀𝗀 into 𝘁𝗀 into the pit to make sure they get that dragon. They're not even going to actually go for it.
They're going for it. They don't even care. They've got the Chemtech Rift. It's a big Cyclone, but the Nexus is open. 𝘁𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗹𝘀 will take the game. 𝘁𝗀𝗵𝗶𝗹𝗀 will take the series and burst the sky. They end up losing it, trying to commit for Elder.
Oh my god, Look, I'm gonna say for the back 20 minutes of that, Burst the Sky played better, but because they'd set up the dragons earlier and that steal from BJ, the fact they can then get the Chemtech Rift, that is kind of what ends up winning them the game, because they have that ability to just rush it. They don't care. If they get killed in front of the Nexus, cool, they're back up and they can hit the Nexus.
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
And again, after 𝘁𝗀 played fairly well for a bit, it was that following the Q onto the Lux that cost them the game. If you have to pinpoint one moment that cost Burst the Sky the game, it was that. It was the Lee syndrome.
Yeah, because then he's not up and there's no contest on the smite against BJ. So yes, that very small mistake does actually somehow count into the win.
I mean, maybe also Burst the Sky just starting that Drake and thinking, oh yeah, we can deal with an Olaf running. Well, no, you can't. You can't CC an Olaf.
I mean, to be fair, I would not. I'm not bothered by them thinking they could burst it, but that's enough. The analysts can talk about it better because I'm still going. My head's blown. My head's blown.
Well, Marby, thank you. I'm sure we'll catch you more tomorrow. We're going to be bringing back in Tim and 𝘀𝗀, who I believe is wearing some cool shades.
Easy to zero for SGB, just as I said. I mean, it was so obvious, right? Very clean game from them.
But you guys harped on it a bit, right? Like the Drake start. I think that was. I mean, why? like this is. One team has a jungler, the other one doesn't, but you have numbers advantage. There's no way in hell this Drake can ever be started by Olaf. Like, Saigon can't, like, the Buffaloes, they can't start this Drake. Never. There's no reason to start it. It tilts me really hard, because in the end, that's, I think, what lost the game, right? Like, not, like, if you don't give up that Drake, if you just take that and play the game out, and then you can just get something, so, like,
The other thing I don't get, 𝘀𝗀, or I should say, cool 𝘀𝗀, is couldn't they have just frozen the Drake on like 2000 HP and said, okay, good flash in Olaf, what are you gonna do?
Maybe not 2K, because Olaf has so much damage that he can just burst the Baron, the Drake himself with his access and like his abilities and auto attacks. But like at like 4K, maybe they could, or just maybe not start the Drake. Wait for your jungler to appear, so you have at least like a 60-40 chance to get it, or maybe just chase down the Olaf so he cannot even be close to it. Zone him off the Drake. But no, they did not want that. They wanted to flip the Elder Soul, or not even flip. They just leashed the Baron straight, the Elder Drake straight, the Soul Drake. Third time's the charm. The Soul Drake for the Olaf, and at the end of the day, yeah, that's what cost them the game ultimately. I mean, they also played an atrocious early game with the draft. Of course, it was very hard, but they came back at the second herald, as we usually see in the VCS. But ultimately, it wasn't enough. Burst the Sky felt like they did not deserve to win the game here, and let's be honest, they're kind of right.
I can't take you seriously with the glasses at some point. I want to ask in terms of, to be honest, the glasses were cool. Put them back on.
Okay.
MVP of the series. Tim, I'll go to you first.
MVP of the series. Oh boy. I mean, for me, it's like Shogun or 𝘁𝗲, I would say. Honestly, 𝘀𝗀 maybe.
Yeah, I mean that's
I mean,
fair as well.
really well.
Honestly, to be fair, I think for me those three would be in the running for it.
Yeah.
I think 𝘀𝘀 played a great series. I think he didn't have a single. Okay, actually, I would take that back. 𝘀𝘀 in the second game actually had some minor mistakes, but overall played really well on the Lee Sin as well. But
Yeah.
𝘀𝘀 is really trying his best, and the 𝘂𝑠e was always the guy dealing the damage. So I would put him up there, but I'm just and also like, can we get like a negative MVP, like the guy who inted the most?
What, Ryuk? I mean, he got dived hard, to be fair.
No, I was
Oh,
looking
probably.
towards a different mid laner.
Yeah. I mean,
who was obviously PayPal'd a lot before this.
To be fair, credit to @𝘀𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀. They won that 4v5, right?
No, they won that 4v6. I'm not sure how many. I'm not sure how many like how many members from BTS played for them, but at least one of their members played for the other team.
Okay, if we could get the standings up on the screen just to remind everyone how things look after the first day of the second round robin, because it's a good start for 𝘀𝗀, and I guess it's a good start for 𝘀𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀. I don't know. 𝘀𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀 stopped game 1, but game 2 was just, it was beautiful. We saw an absolutely awesome series yesterday. Was it yesterday? Cerberus against. No, I can't remember. There was an awesome game somewhere, and then we saw another awesome game today. So there have been a couple of pretty good games. I think it was a 𝘀𝗀 game that was really good. But yeah. I don't really know what to say. So Cerberus at least the standings luxury a second. But 𝘀𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀 are back on the run to where they would expect to be, which is trying to catch up to essentially 𝘀𝑠ury for third in the standings.
For sure, and I mean they were almost close. They are close to looking good again, but this game too just now, I mean, it wasn't really convincing, right? I mean, I would honor 4 members of 𝘀𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀 to be tilt-proof because they had to play with that Twisted Fate in the mid lane and still managed to pull off the win somehow. I mean, actually, now that I think of it, Shogun also had a somewhat uncharacteristically bad showing for himself. I mean, that was not really the bot lane we expect out of him so far.
To be fair, I can't. Can you blame Shogun? He comes off a game playing Caitlyn 10-0, being able to like click someone and their health bar goes to half, and then he's playing a Caitlyn that's 3-2, and he can't do that.
Yes, I can blame him because it was a very free lane and they didn't play to its fullest potential. I mean, they even got the level 1, level 2 really going for them, and they still managed to throw it away. So yes, we can absolutely put some blame onto them, I would say.
Okay, well. That's it, I guess.
We had a backdoor.
I don't know.
What else? Like, we had a backdoor. What else do we want? Like, we just
feels
be
so
happy.
wrong. I don't know. Anyway, either way, congrats to 𝘀𝗀𝗵𝗀𝗀𝗀 for picking up the series. It was a fantastic game to cast, and I'm glad that I could cast it, even if it was a meme of a game 1. But that's all that we have time for today here on VCS. We'll be back tomorrow as Team Flash take on a Team Secret. And
can I say it again?
You can say it again, 𝘀𝗀𝗃.
Match of the week.
It's the match of the week. 𝘀𝗀𝗃, not �ＥEK. Anyway, now that I've ruined 𝘀𝗀𝐶's joke by explaining it, we've got our match of the week, and then we've got SBTC Esports taking on Cerberus Esports. Make sure to tune in tomorrow. We'll be back then from myself, 𝘀𝗀𝐶, our 𝘀𝗀𝗃, Tim, and our wonderful producer, Spoods. Stay tilt-proof on the Rift, and goodbye.